I am very angry at my parents right now because they just tried to initiate a stratting match with me over the fact that I noticed, I said before in a video before, that I like to eat pistachios, but my mother likes to keep the pistachios downstairs, hidden, but she doesn't hide them and she tells me where they are. So I just have to, every time I want pistachios, I have to go all the way downstairs, find the bag, and bring them back upstairs. But then today I went down, just like a few 10, 15 minutes ago, I went downstairs to get the pistachios, and my mother started yelling at me at the top of her lungs from the top of the stairs, telling me that I was trying to avoid taking my medicine because apparently she decided that now, about half an hour before I normally take my medicine, was actually half an hour later than I normally take my medicine because she can't read clocks. She literally can't read clocks. She doesn't know how long a minute is. Like literally, I'll ask her. She'll she'll like insist that she's the one to put my food in the microwave, and then she doesn't know how long a minute is, so she either undercooks it or burns it, and she won't let me do anything about it. She always frames it like it's my responsibility, but then she puts in the wrong time and then burns it, and then it's my fault that she burnt it, putting in her time. Anyways, she got mad at me because I went downstairs while she was doing something that she didn't inform me about and that I couldn't have been aware of, saying that I was clearly aware of it and was trying to avoid her giving me my medicine an hour before I was supposed to take it, or half an hour rather. And and she was just so mad at me. And then I had to try to go upstairs, and my father was telling me, "Yeah, you need to go upstairs. You need to go upstairs." And he kept telling me over and over again, and he just wouldn't buy that I already understood from my mother yelling at me, and I had to keep telling him I already got it. And then by the time I got to the staircase, he told me to turn around and treat him with respect because he was trying to tell me something I didn't know because my mother clearly wasn't yelling loud enough for me to be able to hear her from the room adjacent to the room he was in that has no walls or doors in between. It's just a kitchen with a half counter, like a kitchen with a countertop with no walls supporting it, and that's it. Separating the small kitchen we have down there and the room he was in, like with the couch and a TV and the staircase. It's a pretty large basement, about the same footprint as the upstairs of our house. So that's pretty good. That's nice. And my father said, "Hey, you're being so mean to everyone," and he said like, "Oh, you yelled at me." Like, yeah, I did raise my voice, but he just wasn't having that. Maybe sometimes when someone's yelling at you, when someone's yelling false information, maybe they're the one who made the information up, and they're not telling the truth. Like, I bet my mother could say something crazily outlandish, something that literally could not have happened, and then everyone would be forced to believe her because my father would yell at and like verbally abuse anyone who says otherwise. Now I'm not saying I've ever been subject to verbal abuse. What I am saying is that one time after my father got mad at me and hit me on the back real hard, tried to tell one of my teachers about it through an email, and the way I described it made the police show up at our house. That's what I am saying. I'm not saying I was verbally abused in any way, but I am saying that one time my parents hit me so hard that the police showed up. So that's something. Interpret that as you will. So yeah, I don't get why my parents do things like that. Assume they're in the right and then take it out on me. I want to leave, and then like once I'm once I finish up with high school, I'm going to move out and go to college, not come back for a while, and then after like a year or two being out of college, I'll come back and I'll just have seen them collapse because they won't have anyone to take their frustrations out on, and they'll realize how terrible of people they are. Like, they'll have no one. They'll have no source of happiness, no one to bring them any joy because they'll spend all their time yelling at each other, and they'll have no one else to take it out on. So eventually, they'll just stop. They'll just stop being together because already my father has said that he's given up trying to make my mother a good person, but he's also apparently given up on making himself a good person because he does things like that and then supports my mother for doing the things that she does. And it just makes me so angry, so very, very angry, and so very, 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 very angry all the time. Not all the time, but like a lot of the time. Like my mother will do this thing where she'll tell me something, and I'll try to tell her that I already know it, and she says that no, she needs to be the one to say it because she wants to be the one to say it. So she'll just start saying something. I'll try to I'll try to get a word in saying that I already know it, and then she'll just talk over me louder so that way she can say that she wants to be the one to tell me it and say it her way, and then eventually just slowly gets louder and louder until my father comes upstairs and yells at me because I got loud even though my mother was the one who wasn't listening to me telling her that she didn't need to say something that she already said. Like, I don't get why she does stuff like that. And then my father will tell me things that my mother just said, and then when I try to tell him that I already know it, he'll start yelling at me really, really loudly and telling me that I'm being disrespectful. Like, no. And in fact, once I got upstairs, my mother was telling me once I got upstairs and it was all over with, my mother immediately started a new argument with me because she was saying I shouldn't eat a whole bowl full of pistachios. And then when I tried to say, like, oh, you want me to go in there and eat, like, all the candy that's on the counter instead? Because I'm going to eat the same amount of food either way. And she just goes, well, I wasn't talking about the candy, so you're not allowed to talk about the candy, so I hate you. Like, she literally said, I wasn't talking about it, so you're not allowed to. I don't, I don't get the logic. I don't get the logic of, I wasn't talking about this thing, so you're not allowed to bring it up ever. Like, all I was saying is, like, I have an eating disorder. I'm going to eat the same amount of food, regardless of what it is. Like, I want to eat the healthy option instead of candy. And that means that I need to eat enough of the healthy food in order to not binge eat candy and die slowly. Like, I don't want to slowly die of, like, diabetes or whatever I would get. I just want to be alive and be healthy. But she says, no, you see, I wasn't talking about that, so you're not allowed to talk about it. I just don't get it. I think my mother's about to come in my room, even though I told her specifically not to. So I might just have to suddenly cut this short. But just be prepared for that if it happens. It might not, though. Yeah, I just get so angry and upset with them a lot of the time. I don't know why they do the things they do. Like, I bet once I move out for college that I'll be fine on my own. Like, I'll be a bit lonely because I'm not good at being alone. Like, I'm good at being alone, but I like do on my best at being alone, but I don't do good with being lonely. I'm an introvert, but I like being surrounded by loved ones. But I know when I move out to college, I'll be doing better off than my parents are. But I don't mean in terms of money, I mean in terms of mental state, because they will slowly crumble without anyone in the house to yell at, until eventually their lives fall apart. And that will make me feel so validated, because it even if they don't realize why it's happening, it will just make me feel so validated that everything that I knew was right, and that, like, it's not even like I knew it, like, oh, it's sort of like that bratty teen sort of way, like, aha, I knew that there was this sort of thing. Like, no, like, I'm 16, but, like, that doesn't mean that I'm doing this because I'm a teenager. I'm doing this. I'm saying these things because they're true. My mother yelled at me well, not yelled at me, but she came over the stairs. She started going like quite loud. She was telling me that I was clearly evading her, despite the fact that she started preparing my medicine after I went downstairs, and then said that I saw her preparing my medicine, and then went downstairs to hide, despite the fact that I was doing something else. And also, another quick example of my mother not being the brightest is that she thinks that it's safer, when I eat my pistachios, she thinks it's safer to reuse the same bag over and over again. Like have like one bag that I emptied, like the first bag I ever emptied out of pistachios. She thinks it's safe to buy a new bag of pistachios, then pour the new bag into the old bag, and then just keep reusing the old bag and then throwing away the new bags instead of just using the newest bag. So that way I won't have to keep getting pistachios out of the same bag. But like she's the one that's making me get the pistachios out of the same bag. Like if I ever get sick at any point, if I ever get like I had congestion for a while, but like I got over it. But like if I ever get like really badly sick and I eat some pistachios, then every time I eat pistachios from that point onward, because of her system, I will get equally as sick. And I don't think she understands that. I think she genuinely thinks that eating out of a new bag will make you more sick than eating out of a bag that you ate out of when you were sick. And I don't get that. I don't get where they get these mentalities from. Oh, I just remembered something. Like the other day, my mother decided to drive around with me and my two small Jack Russell Terriers. I love them so much. One of them's brown, one of them's white and brown. I really love them. And we got in the car with the doggies, and I moved to the back seat. We went to the dollar store to get something, then we came back, and then I moved to the back seat to be with the doggies. And then, and then, and then we decided where we were going to go. We were going to go to my aunt and uncle's house. They live nearby. And one of the things they said while we were there, while we were just trying to talk, I was just trying to play with my doggies in the back seat, but I happened to notice the fact that my aunt said that because my cousin was just trying to do something that she didn't approve of, she said that, quote, whenever my cousin tried to tell her that she was just trying to have a life of her own, my aunt said, quote, she has a life, just the wrong one, and then followed up a few sentences later with, she doesn't have a life. Which seems very counterintuitive and also very, very mean-spirited for something that's from someone who's literally a parent figure. I don't know where this family gets this circulation of being very dumb and very mean from, but it's just not good. I don't get it, and I would like to not be in it anymore and never again. I can't keep talking on and on about it. It's just gonna drag my mental state down over time and make me feel terrible. It's already been 14 minutes. That's a long time. I can't even talk. I can't form a word, sentence, whatever. I can't do this. I can't do this. I gotta go. Bye.